Hidden from view, these are the final moments of Raoul Moat's life. We know 3 shots were fired in total, 2 from police tasers, 1 from Moat himself. But until today, there was no real indication who shot first. An investigation by the Independent Police Complaints Commission to establish the precise sequence of events leading to Moat's death is still ongoing. But a source close to those events has told Sky News that it was Moat who pulled the trigger first, prompting the officers to fire immediately after. The source says the negotiations with Moat had been going reasonably well. He'd apparently been talking in fairly positive terms about what life might be like for him in prison. Then it's reported things took a more ominous tone. Moat, who'd been on the ground, got to his feet and put the shotgun to the side of his head and began talking about how he'd miss his loved ones. Well, if we take a look at these photographs, you can see this is where Raoul Moat's standoff took place. He was positioned just there. The police, you can see, are in front of him. Indeed, they're surrounding him. Now, we know that he was shot twice with these Taser shotguns. This officer is just putting one of those shotguns back into this police vehicle. Our source tells us that he was shot in the front and he was shot in the back. That because he was wearing this relatively thick hooded top, those Taser cartridges didn't make a connection with his body. And that may go some way to explaining why in the initial post-mortem there was no sign of Taser marks. The results of a second post-mortem requested by Moat's family are due within a fortnight.
I mean, as a point of principle, I think what will happen from my point of view is I'll look at the evidence and I'll look at the conclusions. And if it is strong without a shadow of a doubt that what happened is that Raoul shot himself before being struck by discharged tasers, then I will accept that. But at the minute, to me, it's not anywhere near as cut and dried as these reliable sources have been indicating.
According to our source, all 3 shots were fired within seconds. One expert says officers may well have fired instinctively, unsure whether Moat was still a threat.
They could not have been certain at that time, I don't think, from where they were, that he had he'd actually taken his life. But they had a resource that they were in the final analysis prepared to use, and they decided that that it had come to a point where they should use it.
A recent Sky News investigation discovered the controversial Taser shotguns, which hadn't been officially approved for use, had only been delivered to officers in Rothbury on the day the hunt for Moat came to its conclusion. The results of the official investigation into the gunman's death is still some way off.